Hello everybody, the Destroyer here, and welcome back to another cast of the RotWK King, patch 2.2 version 5.0.1. Today we have another cast from the October 2015 the Pumpking, excuse me, Halloween tournament, hosted by GameReplays.org. And of course this is round 2, game 3 of S.P.Q.R versus Eonwe. Both players have won a match. S.P.Q.R took game 1, Eonwe took game 2, and now they have to play a third match to decide the winner who advances to the next round, the semifinals. Eonwe is Angmar in the bottom right this time, and it looks like also S.P.Q.R is Angmar, and he's in the top left. So if Angmar mirror, this could be interesting. There will be a lot of Rudar spam on the field, and Orc spam, I'd imagine. I guess Orc spam would probably be better against Angmar player than a Rudar spam would. Unless they're going heavy on the cavalry units, but I doubt that will happen. I guess we'll see. Wolfriders could be utilized. It is only a matter of time before we find out. So, S.P.Q.R in the same position he was last game, game 2. He is in the top left. He is going for Hall the Kingsmen, of course, and 3 mills. Going to continue to get mills and pump out Thrall Masters. And, of course, Eonwe doing exactly the same thing as you would expect. There's not really too many starts you can do differently with Angmar, honestly. I mean, you could throw down a Troll and Wolf Den and build Dire Wolves, but that's not really a good idea at all. Since your opponent will be spamming good and bad Orcs after you, Dire Wolves won't be too much use, as they're good against Pikes. So really not going to be very handy. And of course, good and bad Orcs are actually pretty strong for their cost, I'd say. I think they're one of the better spam orcs. I think they're better than Mordor orcs and possibly Goblin warriors. I don't know if they're better than Goblin warriors per se, but they might be. Goblin warriors have the poison though, which makes them very nasty. But I think in a straight up fight without the poison, I think Gundabad orcs would beat them easily. But don't quote me on that for certain. Anyway, we have a Eonwe sending Gundabad orcs to the top here. These are S.P.Q.Rs, right? Where's he going with these? Looks like he's opted not to go through the center and go through the bottom instead. Possibly. Possibly not. Nope, he's decided to turn around. And we got our First Battalion entering the base of S.P.Q.R. We'll see if he does any damage. Looks like he will probably take this mill before S.P.Q.R. gets there. S.P.Q.R. canceling the mill, getting his builder out of there, and trying to stop him from doing any more damage. Doesn't look like S.P.Q.R. is being very aggressive though. That is the downside of this happening. S.P.Q.R. is being a bit too defensive. These units need to be in the enemy base. They're roaming around, not really doing anything. Meanwhile, his opponent is sending guys at his base, not losing any farms, and continuing to pressure his opponent, keeping him on the defense. Really, that's what you want to do in this game, is just try and keep your opponent on the defensive. Ooh, we have a big engagement here. Both teams throwing down War Chant. It looks like this team didn't get a full-on War Chant though, Eonwe. He missed a few of his units. He probably did it in a very quick hurry, I would imagine. He does have some Axors here to help him out now. As does S.P.Q.R. And it looks like the green ones are actually possibly winning. There's more white here though. The minimap definitely shows that S.P.Q.R. has much more troops on the field. Of course he's very close to his building guys. We'll just keep sending men out. I think S.P.Q.R. easily wins that battle. Looks like S.P.Q.R.'s builder getting caught out of position. Eonwe trying to bring him down. Can they catch a builder? I think they can. It looks like they can. Ooh, the builder takes a big hit in the back and does go down. So that's a big loss for S.P.Q.R. Builders are not cheap. Of course, being 500 a pop if you don't have the what's it called? The Ice Banner, whatever the hell it's called for Angmar. The Doom Pyres of Angmar. Who knows what they're called? I forget. But they do reduce the cost of builders slightly. Still, not cheap. And he will have to spend time and money that he doesn't really have at the moment to rebuild his builder if he wants it. Looks like the whites getting a little bit adventurous there, getting close to the armies. Unfortunately, they move away. Whites would absolutely carve these guys up, as they wouldn't do enough damage to kill it, and they just keep healing up all 3 units. S.P.Q.R should be fine here, although he does have a couple guys in his base in the back there. He's going to lose this mill if he gets going there. Unfortunately, the Thrallmaster's in the front of this battalion. The positioning of Thrallmasters is pretty crucial. Although they seem to be winning the battle, they will still... Thrallmaster's still in front, though. If you're not careful, the Thrallmaster will stop in the back, which will turn up to be the front of the battle, and then he'll die, and then the whole battalion will disappear. So you do have to be very careful about that. Something that you really have to work on when you play Angmar, because losing your battalion instantly is pretty bad, as you would expect. But Eonwe doing a good job keeping pressure up on his opponents. Eonwe hasn't taken too much damage to his base himself, I don't think. Looks like he has taken a bit down over here, so possibly he has taken some. Let's actually take a look at the power points and such, while Eonwe loses this mill. S.P.Q.R is almost at 5 power points. He's got War Chant. He'll probably get Fell Wind, I'd imagine, as his next power. He could go for Snowbind, but I doubt it. Or he could go for a 10. Who knows? But he does about 375 of 400 at the moment. And Eonwe has 400 of 500 at the moment. He does have 5 power points. War Chant, and he could go for a Fell Wind himself, if he feels that is a good choice. Since he hasn't bought it yet, possibly he... Oh, excuse me. He is opting to go for a 10 instead. This would be a bad time to get the hiccups. Very bad time. Eonwe's still under attack in the south. There's still a couple thralls here. This Thrallmaster should fall, and that takes out a majority of the attackers. Unfortunately, he does lose the mill, but Eonwe does have a sizable force, and S.P.Q.R has a fairly sizable force himself, actually. He's got a lot of guys in his base, and some guys over here as well. Ooh, he could get this builder. As we've seen, the builder can't outrun the Gundabad Orcs. Fortunately, he is able to get him into the army. Both teams using the Fell Wind. Let's see who benefits from that the most. Looks like the mill was taken out there as well. I think Eonwe has the better army here, though. He has more troops as well. The mini-map definitely depicts that, as there is a very large green blob in comparison to a very small white blob. And he does save the builder as well, which is good for him. As he still has 2 builders, he can continue producing twice as many farms. Unfortunately, he will lose this one here. There's no one to stop them in sight. But it looks like Eonwe is going for a big attack, sending guys from the south and the middle. He's even got guys over here. Of course, they don't want to go near that cave troll. They will get absolutely destroyed. Oh, he could... Ah, he missed the opportunity to get that builder. He did make him cancel that mill, though, which is also a solid victory in itself. And we have a very large attack here. Generally speaking, I've been told it's better to keep your Gundabad Orcs in a defensive stance, hold ground stance when you're fighting other Gundabad Orcs, and you will win, but... I mean, another player are using it, so who knows. Not that it's necessary. If they're both going standard stance, I guess really it's a fair game, right? But stances can make all the difference. That armor boost could be enough to actually get them through the fight without losing through their opponents there. Zaxxor is getting awfully close to the melee troops. Although it looks like S.P.Q.R opting not to fight them, instead run away. Maybe he should have fought them, as they're not very tanky in melee. Mill will be taken out by S.P.Q.R though. Oh, it's going to actually be close. No, he'll get that mill for sure. That is one of the key mills, of course. One of the original fortress mills. The ones that usually hit level 3. Doesn't look like we'll see many level 3 mills in this game, no doubt. Generally speaking, in a very aggressive game like this with a lot of spam units, you won't see many mills getting level 3. This one's at level 2 though, and S.P.Q.R has opted to snowbind it to save it, or attempt to save it. Although there is a fairly small force here, looking to get rid of it. Doesn't look like he has the amount of troops necessary though. So S.P.Q.R has a lot of guys there. And there we go, scrolling across the map again instead of just clicking for whatever reason. Habit, like I said. It's an annoying habit. And they will engage in the middle once again, but we have axe throwers. As for we don't have axe throwers for S.P.Q.R. Eonwe has these, so you should have an advantage. Looks like S.P.Q.R. getting some axe throwers himself though. You definitely want to have some axe throwers. And there goes the fell wind. Both teams pretty much have the fell wind off cooldown at the same time, so they get to use it at the same time. Fortunately for Eonwe though, he uses his before his opponent. So his guys end up on the ground longer, pretty much. Because since he does it afterwards, he benefits from it the most, I think. S.P.Q.R. does. It looks like S.P.Q.R. will be victorious there. And then S.P.Q.R. sending a fairly decent force across the ford. We'll see if Eonwe has the force necessary to stop it from doing too much damage. He does have some black Numenorians. He's decided to upgrade his swordsman to the better guys. For these guys, it definitely is better to put on the hold ground stance. They take far less damage, and they are still doing more than enough damage to kill a good orc. Though neither of these teams seem to be using hold ground stance at all, which is kind of odd, to be honest. They are both pretty good players, so I'm surprised they're not. Okay, there we have one. Looks like S.P.Q.R. is using hold ground stance to fight these good orcs. Although they seem to still be losing. I guess if one's in aggressive or one's in defensive, who knows? It's hard to say, really. It looks like the aggressive ones are winning, though, by a little bit. Because they fall so easily. Their tactic is to just try and burst down the enemy. Which is a fair tactic. This is Thrallmaster going to fall, though. And we'll get rid of some of them. Looks like he is neither team really successful there. They've pretty much killed each other off in the south. Meanwhile, a big army from Eonwe pushing through the center once again with the Black Numenorian support that S.P.Q.R. does not have. S.P.Q.R. going for Dark Rangers, though. That's going to be a huge difference. Dark Rangers are amazing. S.P.Q.R. actually has his Black Numenorians out in the field, and he does have them in hold ground stance. So there you go. I'd say S.P.Q.R.'s army composition is going to be getting a little bit better, though, because of Black Ranger or Dark Rangers. As we see here, we don't have any level 3 Halls of the King's Men here. Eonwe. So Black Rangers. Dark Rangers, damn it. Dark Rangers should be a very useful unit indeed. Especially in conjunction with these. They should cut through Eonwe's army pretty effectively. As long as he keeps them out of harm's way. These guys are a bit too close to the Gunabad orcs. He should really move them back. I think that would be a good call, but they should live nonetheless. And of course, if they do get level 2, they will get the long shot, which will make huge differences against these spam units when they just blob up like this. A long shot can take out all of them if they're not careful. So Eonwe does have to be very cautious now. And I'd say he really needs to go for Dark Rangers himself, or he's going to be in a lot of trouble. He's not, though. You can't just let your opponent upgrade and then not upgrade yourself. Because spam will no longer work against the elite units of Angmar. Not nearly as effectively, at least. Hopefully he realizes this, but since he hasn't upgraded his barracks, I don't think he has. Oh, there you go. Anyway, opting to go for a level 3 Hall of the King's Men. He will be a bit behind, though, as there is already 2 battalions of Dark Rangers on the field. So we'll see what happens with that. He could go for snow trolls or something. Those would absolutely destroy the opposing guys' Dark Rangers, but doesn't look like any troll or wolf den is in sight. Of course, that does require a upgraded troll and wolf den to get those. He could also go for the wolf riders if he wanted to, which are really terrible cavalry, but better than nothing, I suppose. I think going for cavalry at this point might be a good idea for Eonwe, as the opponent is not using pikemen. He could easily start using pikemen at the press of a button, but for now it would help him get rid of these Dark Rangers, at least nullify them a little bit. He's going to have a lot of trouble. These are level 2. Will he throw down a long shot? He doesn't really need to at the moment. He could save it for later, which would be fair enough. He is going to try and get rid of these guys in the front. As you see, it easily cleans that up, leaving only a Thrallmaster or 2 alive without any thralls, which are very useful. And Eonwe has been defeated. He's conceded. He didn't upgrade quick enough to keep up with his opponent, unfortunately for him. And the Dark Rangers really sealing the deal, putting the nail in the coffin. But yeah, there you go. S.P.Q.R taking that match, and he will advance to the semifinals. So well played, and congratulations to him. That was a pretty good match. Nice little Angmar mirror. And I hope you guys enjoyed that as well. So I see you for more casts of the October 2015 Rise of the Pumpkin tournament. And of course, check out Phoenix's channel for more casts of the tournament. And I will see you guys next time.